Buenas noches. Good evening. Bonsoir. I want to start by thanking the organizers of this event for the opportunity to participate in these celebrations. 60 years of vibrant bilateral relations between Canada and Panama is really something to celebrate. Other colleagues will talk about the impressive progress we have achieved over the past 60 years, but I want to focus on one particular aspect of our relationship. While it's true that Canada and Panama formally established diplomatic relations 60 years ago, it wasn't until 1995 that we opened embassies in our respective countries. Some of you will recall the first Summit of the Americas in Miami, in Florida, 1994. It was during this summit that Prime Minister Jean Chrétien and President Ernesto Pérez Valladares instructed officials, told them, you have to open embassy in each of our countries. Before then, Canada had had a long-standing honorary consul in Panama City, but the accredited ambassador was actually resident in San Jose, Costa Rica. Now, Panama was a bit faster than Canada and opened its first embassy here in Ottawa in the spring of 1995. Canada followed suit, and we opened our first embassy in Panama City in October of that same year. I had the privilege and the honor to present my letters of credentials to President Ernesto Pérez Valladares on October 5th, 1995, and became the first resident Canadian ambassador in Panama. It was a very small embassy at the beginning, with only 2 Canadian diplomats and a handful of locally engaged staff. But despite our small size, we had a lot of energy, and very quickly were able to firmly establish a strong presence in Panama. And it should be noted that at the same time, my counterpart here in Ottawa, His Excellency Carlos Osores, was also very busy promoting Panama's interest all over the country here. And as soon as I arrived, I felt totally at home in Panama. I was welcomed with warmth and a sincerity that I've not encountered in many of my other postings. And it didn't matter if it was government officials, if it was private sector, civil society, or Panamanians in general. That warm welcome was always there. I made it clear I wanted to visit every part of your beautiful country, and I did just that. I went from Bocas del Toro to El Darién and just about everywhere in between, and I was able to visit, to learn, to appreciate, and in some instances, especially in Indigenous communities, I was able to contribute in the name of the Government of Canada, of course, to the development of some of those communities. My time in Panama coincided with the beginning of big mining projects with Canadian companies, also coincided at a time when Canadian companies started to discover the big market opportunities in Panama. So started bidding on projects and contracts, winning the contract to develop and produce your passport booklet, the Balboa coins, and many others. And it was also at that time that we partnered with the Instituto Oncológico Nacional to organize, and the Corredores del Istmo, to organize the first and the second Terry Fox run to raise funding for cancer research. Now, I could go on forever, but I won't. Just to conclude, if you'll allow me, I knew after 3 years in Panama that the potential for our relationship to grow exponentially over the next years and decades was certainly obvious to me. And I'm very pleased to see that that's exactly what happened. So it makes me happy and particularly proud that I was the first resident ambassador that hopefully was planting some of the seeds that we now see all this success. So thank you very much once again for this opportunity. Have a great celebration. Muchas gracias.